Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. And today is the return of Celeste. It's been a while. And this is going to be Reach for the Summit from composer Raine. And this is the channel, Raine. This is requested by Berserker88. Thank you very much. Also voted on by my patrons as part of a upcoming episode of my VGM Vibes 6 coming up, where the theme is video game music that all has to do with snow, ice, or being cold in general. And this was one of the most voted ones. This song is 11 minutes. And the only note I have for it is that it's the final stage. So I have some context going into this one. And I'm assuming, based on the theming here, that there's something snow related. Which I also just noticed the font of the game. Anyways, Celeste, I've heard very little of, maybe two or three songs here on this channel. Those are the only two songs I've heard. Excuse me, and if I recall, that is all a kind of throwback to chiptunes and stuff like that, but it's been a while, so either way, let's get into this. This is 11 minutes. Okay. Reach for the Summit. Final stage. Well, it's a fitting title for a final stage, right? Celeste, Reach for the Summit. If I had to guess, one of the harder stages. I wonder if it's going to loop at all. This kind of works out for being 11 minutes because I'm in a really weird mood today where I'm just like zoned out. So there'll be times where I'm just gonna get more lost than usual in the song. I'm like totally out of it today. Got like 3 melodies going on with the bass, strings, and keys. I would have to assume whatever's happening in this stage. I know it's a 2D game, or side scroller. I would have to assume you're ascending. The violins kind of give me that feeling too. Sounds like uplifting though. It sounds like nice. When I saw final level, I thought it would be a little more daunting sounding. Not a bad thing. Just what I thought going into it. It's almost like supporting you kind of thing, you know? The engineering of Celeste soundtrack is really good. Like it uses the potential of your speakers or headphones, you know. It's a pretty busy song though, so like I imagine with the sound effects of the game, probably a lot. I've seen some footage of Celeste. I forgot what I was saying. It looks pretty busy. a lot of charm in this kind of soundtrack. The whole thing sounds so uplifting and like you're almost there. I really was expecting the opposite, like it was trying to like push you down. Maybe the gameplay is trying to push you down, but I have a feeling it's not going to loop though. 11 minutes seems very specific from the uploader themselves, from the artists themselves. I'm gonna look up what Celeste means. I don't even know if that's an actual word. I feel like it is. I know there's Celestial. I don't know if it's the character's name or if it actually means something. Probably just her name. Dude, this is great. It's just, it's a journey. It's like literally I feel like I'm going through the song in first person. You know, now we're going into like a sort of I don't know how to explain it. But I am trying to picture the game too, because I've seen what it looks like briefly. Ooh, I wonder if there's a motif in this one. I wouldn't recognize it if there's. Also, is this artwork here for like the actual? Is this game? Is this like the box art, or is this for like the? Is there a separate soundtrack? Holding the cassette kind of, you know, hints at that, but. So the main thing here, since I've been introduced, hold on. I was gonna say the main thing of the song is the piano keys, but it seems like we're shifting. Yeah, this feels like cold now. I even got a little shiver. The keys remain. Percussion's out though. It's hard to tell if it's a build up or a come down. There's still more. As nice as it sounds, it's still intense. You know? Ooh. Really nice strings here. Now I'm wondering if the whole game is like this, or if the whole game is centered around this cold theme. I keep staring at the title with the snow on it. So it's obviously like a big deal. What I mean by that is, like, can every song qualify for like a cold theme? And yeah, she's wearing like a snow jacket, so. And it's snowing. I just realized all these things all at once. I've just been so fixated on the cassette. That was cool. Oh, it's fading out. Fading out into reverb. You know, I was really not expecting that kind of ending. I wasn't sure how that was going to end, you know, when something feels so progressive and linear. So when I say that I've seen footage of this game, I'm talking like minuscule, like maybe 2 minutes or something. Whenever I watch, because I have 2 monitors, so I always have, like, you know, I'm working on something and then I'll have either Twitch streams or whatever, like, in the background, muted or something, just like lurking. And like, I think, I don't remember exactly, but I just remember someone that I watched just playing it. And whenever it's a game that, like, I obviously know that I know I have music pending for, I always just turn the stream way down. But I'll kind of glimpse at it just to kind of see what's going on. And what I remember was 2D, side scroller, and it looked like some intense platforming, so it was like some difficulty. And I try to compare it to something that I think the closest thing that I've played. And I think that would be Guacamelee, maybe? So I guess this is me asking, like, does it play like Guacamelee? I don't know if it's a Metroidvania or anything. I just know that it's got like intricate movement and stuff like that. And again, that reminds me of Guacamelee with, like, you know, clinging onto walls and using tech abilities to, like, dash across the screen, that kind of thing. And that's what it looked like to me. And it looked kind of difficult. So, and the reason I bring that up is because this song was very forward moving. So assuming, I'm just going to assume that in this game you don't really ever die or have lives. That's not really a thing anymore, you know? It's like now if you just die, like, you just respawn to, like, the last checkpoint. So to me, I feel like this song would just not stop playing. Maybe that's how the music is in this game. So if you were to fall or get hit by a trap or whatever, I feel like the song would keep going, right? It wouldn't just start over in the beginning. It felt like it was too, it felt like it was made for about the length of the stage, maybe with maybe a little bit left over just in case. That's what it feels like to me. You know, I feel most songs in video game music are roughly around 4 or 5 minutes, if that. And it makes total sense that this is the final stage, right? And that's interesting though, because for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I just assumed that it would be a more of a challenge as far as the sound goes. But the whole thing was very uplifting. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's just, you know, before I click play, I don't have to, but it happens. Just throw a guess into my head as to like what can I maybe expect here. So I'm not saying it didn't like meet my expectations or anything. I'm just saying that popped into my head, so that's what I went with. And it's interesting though, because it really gives you the feeling of like, yeah, like you're almost there. You made it. Like, you know, it feels like you are getting rewarded. And I guess that kind of goes with the whole difficulty of it. I'm not sure if it's difficult. It just seemed like a above average difficulty kind of game where, you know, because I mean, I can't speak for everyone. I love platformers. I love 2D stuff, but I know not everybody does. And for example, like I've heard people, well, I mean, there's all walks of life, you know, not everyone knows games like you or what have you, but I remember the one time it really like struck a chord in my head and realized that everybody's different. I don't even remember when or how I heard this, but someone in my teens, I remember saying that they said Crash Bandicoot was hard. And I remember thinking to them, I'm like, I didn't say it, but I thought it out loud. I was, you know, what? I was like, what do you mean it's hard? And I think like I processed it in real time. I felt like a growing experience. I could have easily just been like, what are you talking about? But I feel like that's kind of like the internet response way of like, you know, saying stuff before you think about it. But I really just thought about it and I didn't want to like judge or anything. And it made me think, yeah, well, yeah, we're just all totally different. But you know, I personally don't think Crash is hard. So that's kind of what I'm getting at as far as like the music. The music feels, from what I've seen, it looks like it'd be above average difficult. I don't know. And the music right here, at least, because I don't remember the specific songs that I heard before. I just know I've heard like 2 or 3 songs of Celeste. This one seemed very uplifting, is what I'm saying at the end of the day, and that was nice. It felt like a reward. You know, I don't know how long the game is. I'm not even gonna try to guess, but it just seemed like it felt like a reward, you know. And with the title like Reach for the Summit, you know, I couldn't get that image out of my mind. There's a couple things that I had in my mind going into this one where it's usually blank 0. Well, not 0, I should say maybe like 5-10%. Typically, on any given reaction, the only context I know is the title of the game and the title of the song. And maybe a thumbnail or something. But this one, it's like final stage. Cold related somehow, and I think that was it actually. So, you know, I could form some things, but when I have things in mind prior, it changes a little bit the reaction because I kind of try to fill in stuff, and I feel like I'm obligated to guess. I can't explain it. It's just the way it is. These are my reactions after all. All I can tell you, though, is Celeste, from what I've heard, it has this sort of feeling of, like, fan favorites, cult classic kind of thing that will be talked about for years, or maybe down the line, like, it'll be considered, like, a really... I don't know if it is right now, but it just seems like every time every time Celeste is featured here, you know, people have, like, grand memories of it, and they talk really good about it. You know, one of those games that people just recommend and all that. And the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I feel silly because I'm just like, everything looks cold related. It's snowing. The words have snow all over them. The snow jacket. And it makes me want to go back to the other videos I did and see what the thumbnail was like there. You know, maybe it's been there the whole time. And then I started to think, maybe the whole soundtrack is like this. Maybe you're going up a mountain the whole time. I don't know. So a lot of thoughts went through my head, but you know, very cool. I can sense the cold there, obviously. But I think it really kicked in for me halfway through, where like it felt like a second movement was coming in, the percussion dropped out. That felt to me the most cold part of the song, I guess. But also throughout the entire song was the arpeggiated piano. That always to me sounds like crystals, and crystals remind me of ice and shards. So yeah, I would say this totally works in that regard. And one final thing is, since the VGM Vibe series where this video will be featured, or that song will be featured, is typically songs I know and I can talk about in depth. I've never played Celeste, so feel free to elaborate as much as you want. Just be mindful of spoilers for other people. But please tell me where this... well, I know where it plays now, but, you know, just tell me more about it. And whatever your thoughts on Celeste. Awesome. Thank you to Lena, Raine. Thank you to Berserker88. Thanks to you for watching, and thanks to all my patrons. I could not be here without them. I will see you in VGM Vibes 6. My name is Jesse in the auditorium later.